Hey, hey, baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? Hi, everybody. Here we are in Country Kitchen once again, and I feel like this is one of my kids. We have the Beaver here, Jerry Mathers. Hi, Jerry.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Jerry, when you were growing up on the Beaver series, which you did, how many years?
Well, we did the original one for 7 years, and now we've done the new Leave It to Beaver for 6, so we've been at it for quite a few years.
Well, when you were a little boy, I know with the Brady kids, I always felt like they were my kids, and sometimes I felt they worked too hard and all. From your viewpoint, what was it like?
Well, it's kind of funny because now I've got both perspectives.
Right.
When I was working, it was more like fun. I'd go in there every day, and I had a real good time. The people on the cast and the crew both were almost like surrogate parents. We'd go in there, and we were always playing games. Between, takes, we'd be out playing football or throwing a baseball. And, we got along so well that it was really fun. And I didn't think it was work. Now when I see the people that I'm working with now, sometimes, gee, it looks like they're working, but they tell me they're having a good time, too.
Do they? Now, you went to school, right, on the set?
I went to school for elementary school entirely on the set. And, I thought it was a really good education.
How many hours? 4?
3 hours a day. And that doesn't sound...
Playtime.
Well, it depends what you call playtime. As I was, always bothering the cameraman saying, what does this knob do and what does that do? So we were there for 8 hours a day with an hour for lunch. And we got breaks, but, when you're studying like that, you can be really specific. I was always a lot better in English and in reading than I was in math. And so the teacher would say, okay, you're going to do math and you're going to know how to do this. And she knows exactly where you are. You just can't kind of sit in the back and hide a little bit and not know your fractions or percentages or something like that.
Well, I think it is a great education. And I think the fact that you've looked at it from a positive attitude and not, oh, what was done to me, poor me.
As I say, I had a real good time, and I took the money that I made from Leave It to Beaver and put myself through college. And,
fantastic.
So I had a really good experience, and I've gone back to it, and it's just as much fun as an adult.
Well, we hope you're going to have a good experience here today because
sure.
Jerry Mathers is going to make his favorite ribs. Come on back. In the kitchen, and Jerry's going to make his favorite. Now, are these really your favorite ribs?
These are my very favorite ribs, but I'll tell you have all the stuff here. Now, when I go home, half the time, all this isn't there. So some of these things you can't omit or not, depending on whether they're in the cupboard.
Terrific.
So, and a couple things I'll tell you that you can substitute as we go through.
Okay, great. Before we start, I want to ask you about Barbara Billingsley, who, I adore this lady.
She is so nice. The thing is that she's just as nice as she appears to be.
Yeah.
And she's the kind of lady that, the funny part is, when I worked with her when I was a child, she looked exactly the same as she does now.
I know that.
And I know I got older.
She's a great lady, and I know she's going to be proud of you today.
Well, let's hope so. Are you ready?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, the first thing we do is we take the ribs when they're raw and we braise them. And what that's going to do is kind of seal in the flavor. Then we take them, and after we've braised them and they're sealed, we put a little salt in here and start to boil them.
Okay.
Then we start to mix up our salt. Now, the main ingredients are basically ketchup and beer. Now, sometimes if I've drank all the beer or had Eddie Haskell over the day before, he always drinks all my beer, I use orange juice.
Is Eddie Haskell any nicer?
He is probably the nicest person you'd ever want to meet. That's the funny part. He was a Los Angeles police officer.
Yeah, I remember that.
He had to retire because he was shot on duty. So but he's the kind of guy that the reason he became a police officer is he said somebody had to go down there and do it, and so he did it. And, the thing is, kids come up to him in a market and will kick him in the shins and say, be nice to the Beaver, and there couldn't be anybody nicer. My wife and I just built a barbecue, and I'm not really a big bricklayer, and he came over and spent his whole day showing us how to lay bricks. That's the kind of guy he is.
See, all of you people out there, be nice to Eddie Haskell.
He's a nice man. And he likes country western music. He's a big country western music fan. Okay, let's start. First thing we do is we take the brown sugar, and that's going to make them nice and sweet. And we just kind of push it around in there a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have a little lemon here. And what this lemon's going to do is it's going to break down, it's kind of acidy, and it's going to break down the ribs when we actually put the sauce on.
Is that what you just said?
acidity.
Oh, acidity. She said vivacity.
No. We don't use big words. No. A little ketchup here.
Okay.
Put it in like this. And the whole time you're doing this, you want to probably stir it up a little bit. Boy, look at all these spoons. My wife would kill me. I get one spoon, that's it.
Oh,
and
yeah?
you don't have to do as much wash. Then you put in a little molasses. Now that's, molasses in winter. Stick it on there. It'll heat up in a second, and it'll be ready.
Maybe I should drink some of that for my frog.
You probably should drink the lemon.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been good. Little garlic. Now we have these fancy things here.
Little garlic press, yeah.
Here we go. Florence.
Get tough on that garlic.
Okay. Well, you see, the thing is, once you press it like this, with this one,
pushes the other one through. Wow, that's potent.
Really, I'm going to have garlic hands all day.
Yeah.
No vampires. Then you come around this way, and you push it out that way.
Okay.
And we'll be nice. Instead of using my fingers, I'll just kind of scrape it off like this.
Oh, and get it on my dress.
Well, but it's such a pretty dress. You're not going to have any vampires. Weren't you worried about vampires?
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, now you won't have to worry. Okay, then we take a little cayenne pepper.
Gotta put cayenne in.
Whoops, there we go.
Okay.
And a little cumin. You know what this is? Yeah. I discovered this stuff because I was making chili for years. And putting more chili powder in and wondering why it didn't taste like the chili in restaurants. This is the secret. But it's also good in ribs.
Yeah, Johnny Rodriguez told me he was looking for cumina.
Cumina.
Yeah.
I went in there and I said, I heard something, it's kind of like human. And the guy went, huh? I said, it's some sort of human spice. He goes, no, cumin. I said, oh, okay, that's good.
It makes you more human after you have it. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we mix that up a little bit. Put in a little mustard. It is very good.
Oh.
Okay, and then one of the secret ingredients, beer.
Beer, now, you what, about a half cup? Or?
About a half a cup. Depends how much you drink while you're making it. And also,
how much is left?
Yeah, my kids now like it a lot better with orange juice. So a lot of times, it makes it a lot sweeter. So sometimes I don't use beer, as I say, I use orange juice.
How many children do you have?
I have 3. I have an 11-year-old son, and I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I have she'll be 4 in the next couple of days. So.
When they watch the Beaver series, what do they think? Do they go, oh, that's my daddy when he was a little boy?
You know what? When they watch the Beaver series, they know it's like watching home movies. Now, what they're going to be surprised about is seeing me on this show, because they don't understand that, because then their dad, who they know, is sitting right next to them on TV. When they're watching the old Beaver show, it's kind of like watching home movies. So they understand that I was a little boy, and they say, they look at Barbara, and they've met Barbara, and they know that she's not really my mom.
Right.
So they understand that a lot more.
I bet they love the Beaver just like everyone else, huh?
Well, I hope so. They do watch it. I'm really surprised. We're almost into the 3rd generation now. The Leave It to Beaver show has been on for almost 34 years.
Right, that's older than I am.
I know, it's incredible. But it's been on, so anyway,
okay, so after
we stir this up here.
Sauce,
now, the reason we boiled the ribs is because this is going to make it a lot easier to cut off the fat, because the fat is going to show. It's going to be nice and white, and we don't want all that fat.
Okay.
And we just kind of trim that off.
So you trim the fat and then put it in there? Oh, okay. Just cut that fat off?
Cut it all off, because to be honest with you, I don't like to eat fat.
I don't either.
Some people I know, I've got friends.
So are you going to put the molasses in there too?
Oh, yeah.
Now that it did melt.
See, it's nice and melty.
Great.
It's like molasses in summer.
Now after you've let them, do you soak them in there for a while?
Well, I usually don't. What I do is when I get just above where they won't fit anymore, then I'll take the bottom ones out.
Okay.
And I will
put them on the grill?
With these fancy equipment there, like that. And then, well, you can tell. It usually takes about 20 to 35 minutes. And I'll turn them over once and baste them with what's left.
And you could serve this with a salad or rice or...
I usually serve it with baked beans. Now, that's one of my favorites. Garlic bread, German potato salad, and sometimes peas, French fries. Well, you can see that I like to eat this stuff.
And we're going to love to eat it, too. And we're going to recap this recipe for you. So, here we go. Okay, first you boil ribs for about an hour. You cut off excess fat. You press your garlic. Then you mix ketchup, beer, molasses, brown sugar, mustard, lemon, garlic, cayenne, and cumin. Sounds like cumin. Brush sauce over your ribs. Broil until done, turning them once. And that's all you do. And these guys, you got to turn them a few times. Williams and me are going to be here to make apricot pie. So come on down. Jerry, I know that you go out on the lecture circuit a lot, don't you? What do you tell the folks when you go out to lecture?
Basically about doing Leave It to Beaver, and people have a lot of questions. Basically the same kind of things we were talking about, how I went to school, what I thought of the other people on this show, what it's like to do a series, just basic questions like that.
What is the question you get asked the most? You get asked about Barbara's pearls.
Barbara's pearls, why did she have pearls? And that's kind of funny. She was a New York model, and she was very, very skinny. And when the lighting director came in, because of her blonde hair, it made a little thing in her neck. I don't have that problem being skinny, but it made like a mark in her neck right here, and it made her look like she had a tracheotomy. So they needed some kind of jewelry to cover it up. Pearls were the ones that covered it.
And she wore the little...
That's right.
Now,
That's
see,
why
you would never have known
pearls.
that.
Secrets.
Well, we're trying to find something to cover up the necks of these guys because...
Hey.
What? Yeah, what?
Just watch what you say.
Bruce and Terry, they've got little things hanging on their necks, and we don't know what they are.
Huh?
But they're going to make apricot pie.
Well, you can add the apricots, and while you're doing that, it's time for a word from another new sponsor that we have here on the cooking show. Yes, got a gnawing sensation in the pit of your gut? Want to tree that craving with a cold treat that will put pleats on your cummerbunds? Well, why not reach for one of the cool and cruel new products from Endangero, Mr. Beaver Frozen Treats.
Yeah.
Even after the most wholesome dinner, it will fill you up without leaving you stuffed. Yes, succulent strips of barbecued, basted Boise beaver, bound to a board and bound to bemuse even the most bodacious brat in your bungalow. Now in 2 new flavors that will pelt in your mouth. Cheese and hair. Yes, Mr. Beaver Frozen Treats. Damn, they're good.
And see just what we've done.
Thank you, guys. I sang a song many years ago in a show called Fanny, and this song has some good advice for kids, and then Jerry's going to sing a lovely song for mothers. Be kind to your parents, though they don't deserve it. Remember they're grown-ups, a difficult stage of life. They're apt to be nervous and overexcited, confused by their daily storm and strife. Just keep in mind, though it sounds odd, I know, most parents once were children long ago. Incredible, so treat them with patience and sweet understanding, in spite of the foolish things they do. Someday you may wake up and find you're a parent too.
M is for the million things she gave me. O means that she's only growing old.
Not me, Jerry.
T is for the tears she seemed to save me. H is for her heart of purest gold. Take a big mustache. E is for her eyes with love light shining. R means right, and right she'll always be. Put them all together, they spell mother. A word that means an awful lot to me.
That's sweet. Thank you, Jerry Mather.
Thank you. Not a thing.
But the sentiment is what counts.
Really.
Thank you. We'll be back in just a minute to taste Jerry Mather's favorite ribs. Okay. All of our crew licking their lips. I want to show the folks at home just how pretty this dish is.
They come out pretty
Your
nice.
favorite ribs.
Oh, they are.
Listen, while you're you can taste the dessert if you want to.
Okay. Now, which dessert was this? There were the two of
They're
them.
apricot pie.
But
Well,
I saw the two
I
pies.
doubt if it's Bruce and Terry,
Okay.
so it's safe.
Okay.
Are you still filming in Orlando?
We are. We should go back probably within the next few months. We've already done 105 of the new show.
Oh my gosh, you're directing a lot of shows.
I like that a lot. I like, people that you worked with for that long and suddenly you get to be the boss. It's a lot of fun.
Tell everybody what to do.
That's
I bet
right.
you're a good director.
Well, it is. It's really interesting, as I say, to be able to read a script and get your ideas and put them on film.
Yeah, and are you limited by one set or?
Oh, no, we go outside, especially in Orlando a
Is it?
lot because they're real easy to work with. I did one show that I was out for 5 days on the road, and in Hollywood we would have never done that.
No. Well, we hope you'll come on the road often and see us.
I'd love
And if you
to.
want Jerry's recipe, you just write to me, care of Country Kitchen, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. And thank you for coming. I
Oh, my
feel like I
pleasure.
should give you a kiss.
Thank
Say
you.
hi to Barbara, Eddie,
I
all the
definitely
gang.
will.
You folks, I could give you a kiss too if you were here. Come back and see us. We love you. you. Bye-bye.
Take a look back at 1989 in top country music events and personalities as Crook and Chase.